Welcome to Adaptive IELTS. Today we'll explore the word compulsory, a crucial term that's particularly valuable for Task 1 essays about education systems and Task 2 essays discussing social policies. This word will help you describe mandatory requirements and essential regulations in your IELTS responses. Let's start with pronunciation. Compulsory is pronounced as compulsory. Break it down like this. Cum is soft, pul is strongly stressed, s is gentle, and re is clearly articulated at the end. Practice with this sentence. In many countries, secondary education is compulsory. Notice how we emphasize pul in the middle. Understanding the meaning is essential for IELTS success. Compulsory means something that is required by law or a rule, mandatory. It describes actions or conditions that must be fulfilled, leaving no room for choice. In academic contexts, it's often used to discuss requirements in education, legislation, and organizational policies. The word compulsory is primarily used as an adjective to describe something that is mandatory. Its noun form is compulsoriness, which refers to the quality of being compulsory. While less common, you might also encounter compulsorily, the adverb form that describes how something is done in a mandatory manner. To vary your vocabulary, consider these alternatives: mandatory, formal; obligatory, required, general; essential, general; and imperative, strong. For Task 1 essays, you might also use statutory when referring to legal requirements. Remember that mandatory is the closest synonym in formal contexts. Let's explore different ways to use compulsory in IELTS contexts. In IELTS writing, you might say, "The government has made health insurance compulsory for all citizens." In IELTS speaking, you could mention, "Attending safety training is compulsory for all new employees." These examples show how compulsory describes mandatory requirements in various situations. To score higher in IELTS, master these essential word partnerships. Common collocations with compulsory include make something compulsory, become compulsory, mandatory and compulsory, compulsory education, compulsory training, compulsory requirements, and compulsory participation. These phrases help you express mandatory conditions naturally in your responses. Consider these IELTS examples. Writing Task 2. While some argue that physical education should be compulsory in schools, others believe that it should remain an optional subject. Speaking Part 2. I remember when it became compulsory to wear seatbelts in my country. These examples illustrate how compulsory is used to discuss mandatory policies and requirements. Now it's your turn to practice. Complete these sentences. 1. In many countries, primary education is blank. 2. The new regulations make environmental training blank for all employees. 3. Participation in the safety drill was blank for everyone, are compulsory. Your homework. 1. Write 3 sentences using compulsory in different contexts, such as education, workplace, and legislation. 2. Find an article discussing compulsory policies and summarize its key points. 3. Prepare a short speech about the advantages and disadvantages of making something compulsory in society. Here are some pro tips to boost your IELTS score. Use compulsory when discussing mandatory requirements, regulations, or policies. Pair it with modal verbs like must or have to for emphasis. Remember that compulsory implies no choice, while optional indicates freedom to decide. In conclusion, we've explored the word compulsory and learned how to use it effectively in your IELTS exam. Use it to describe mandatory requirements in your writing and speaking tasks. Keep practicing with the exercises and tips provided, and you'll be well prepared for your exam.